Have you ever woken up in the morning feeling heavy, bloated, and uncomfortable, knowing today is going to be just like yesterday? You eat right, you drink your water, you've tried the fiber supplements, and yet nothing really moves. Sound familiar? Here's something that might surprise you. Millions of seniors deal with this every single day, and most of them are doing everything they were told to do. So why isn't it working? What if the problem isn't your effort, but the information you were given? The truth is, constipation after 60 isn't just about fiber. Your gut changes as you age. Your digestive muscles slow down. Your gut bacteria shift. And the remedies that worked at 40 simply don't cut it anymore. There's a reason you feel stuck, literally. And it has nothing to do with willpower or laziness. What if one simple morning routine could change everything? What if the foods sitting in your kitchen right now, foods you've probably never thought to combine, could gently wake up your digestive system, soften things naturally, and get your bowels moving without harsh laxatives or uncomfortable side effects? And what is that one habit, so easy anyone can do it, that most doctors never mention but makes all the difference? In this video, you will discover 5 specific things, foods, drinks, and one simple morning habit that work together to fix what's actually been missing in your routine. You probably already have most of them at home. And by the end, you'll understand exactly why what you've been doing may not have been working, and what to do differently starting tomorrow morning. Before we get into it, can you do us a quick favor? Like this video and subscribe to join our healthy community. Also type yes in the comment section right now so we can see how many of you are interested in this type of content. Alright, let's get started. Here's what most people don't realize. Your gut at 60 is not the same gut you had at 40. And that's not a bad thing, it's just biology. But it does explain a lot. As you age, the muscles lining your digestive tract naturally lose some of their strength and tone. This means the wave-like contractions, called peristalsis, that push food through your intestines become slower and weaker. Food spends more time sitting in your colon, and the longer it sits, the more water gets absorbed from it, making stools harder and more difficult to pass. At the same time, the balance of bacteria in your gut, your microbiome, shifts significantly after 60. The beneficial bacteria that help break down food, produce important digestive enzymes, and keep things moving start to decline. And when those good bacteria drop, inflammation quietly rises, bloating becomes more frequent, and your gut simply becomes less efficient. Add to that the fact that many seniors produce less stomach acid and fewer digestive enzymes than they used to. And you start to see why the old advice of just eat more fiber falls short. Without the right gut environment, fiber alone can actually make things worse, causing more bloating and pressure instead of relief. That's exactly why what you're about to learn matters so much. Habit number 5. Start your morning with warm water. Before you eat anything, before you check your phone, before the noise of the day begins. The very first thing you put into your body every morning should be warm water. And the timing of it matters far more than most people realize. Here's why. After a full night of rest, your digestive system is essentially in standby mode. When your stomach senses something warm coming in during that early window, it triggers a reflex signal to your intestines, telling them it's time to start moving. This reflex is called the gastrocolic reflex, and warm fluids are one of the most reliable ways to activate it naturally. That signal is what creates the organic urge to go, the kind your body used to produce effortlessly when you were younger. And it works best in the first 15 to 20 minutes after waking up. That window doesn't stay open all day. A clinical study published in the Journal of Gastroenterology Nursing confirmed this in 2016, finding that patients who consumed warm water experienced significantly faster intestinal movement and earlier activation of peristalsis compared to those who did not, with the warm water group showing results in as little as 11 hours versus nearly 19 hours in the control group. The researchers specifically noted that warm water helped relieve gastrointestinal spasms and supported the return of natural peristaltic contractions. Most people skip the warm water and go straight to coffee. Coffee does stimulate movement, but it also dehydrates. And dehydration is one of the primary reasons stools become hard and difficult to pass, especially after 60, when the colon already tends to absorb excess water from waste material. The fix is simple. Drink 2 glasses of warm water, not boiling, just comfortably warm, within the first 15 minutes of waking before eating anything. Then move gently. A short walk around the room, a few slow stretches, Light movement helps the signal travel. Give your body 5 to 10 minutes to respond. People who build this habit consistently report a noticeable shift in their morning routine within the very first week. If plain warm water feels like too little, a small squeeze of lemon adds a gentle sharpness that may help wake your stomach up even faster. Nothing else needed. Just warm water, first thing, every single morning. Habit number 4. Eat whole prunes, not prune juice. Oh, there is a meaningful difference between whole prunes and prune juice. And it comes down to what is actually happening inside your intestine when stool gets stuck. When stool sits in the colon too long, water gets pulled out of it. What remains is dry, compact, and hard to move, regardless of how much fiber you have added to your diet. The problem at that point is not a lack of bulk. It is a lack of moisture inside the stool itself. This is where whole prunes do something most high-fiber foods simply cannot. Prunes contain a natural compound called sorbitol, a sugar alcohol that acts as an osmotic agent, meaning it pulls water into your colon and holds it inside the stool, rehydrating the content that is already there. That is what makes prunes genuinely different. They do not just add bulk, they soften what is already stuck. On top of that, prunes contain neochlorogenic and chlorogenic acids, natural compounds that appear to stimulate the intestinal muscles to contract, gently encouraging movement from the inside. The research on this is direct and convincing. A randomized clinical trial published in Alimentary Pharmacology and Therapeutics in 2011 compared whole dried prunes to psyllium, the active ingredient in popular fiber supplements like Metamucil, using equal amounts of fiber in both groups. Prunes outperformed psyllium on every key measure. Participants eating prunes had 3.5 complete spontaneous bowel movements per week, compared to just 2.8 with psyllium. Stool consistency also improved significantly in the prune group. The researchers concluded that dried prunes should be considered a first-line therapy for mild to moderate constipation. Yet not a supplement, not a laxative, a real food. That works better. 3 to 4 prunes in the morning, eaten alongside your warm water, is a practical and effective starting point. If you have not had them in a while, start with 2 and increase gradually. Too many too quickly can cause cramping in some people. That is the effect working faster than your system expects. The goal is gentle and consistent, not aggressive. Have you tried prunes for digestion before? Let us know in the comments, and tell us whether they helped or not. Your experience might be exactly what someone else here needs to hear. Habit number 3. Fennel tea, with a small amount of healthy fat. Most people assume fiber and water are enough to solve constipation. But there is a third condition, and almost no one talks about it. Your intestines are roughly 20 feet long. The inner surface of that passage needs to be moist and slightly slippery for stool to move through without friction. When that surface becomes dry, which happens naturally with age, with low-fat intake, and with certain diets, even soft stool can drag and resist movement. The muscles contract, but the content does not move easily because the surface is working against it. Fiber does not fix this. Water does not fix this. This is a lubrication problem, and it requires fat to solve it. A small amount of healthy fat in the morning triggers your intestinal muscles to contract while simultaneously coating the inner walls of your intestines, reducing friction so nothing drags or gets stuck. Extra virgin olive oil in particular has been studied specifically for this purpose. A double-blind clinical trial published in 2025 found that participants who consumed extra virgin olive oil daily for 4 weeks experienced a significant increase in bowel movements and measurable improvement in constipation symptoms, outperforming refined olive oil on every key measure. The researchers highlighted extra virgin olive oil as a viable first-line treatment for chronic constipation. Fennel complements this beautifully by working on the other half of the problem, muscle tension. Research published in 2025 confirmed that fennel tea acts as a natural spasmolytic, meaning it relaxes the smooth muscles lining the digestive tract while simultaneously supporting forward motility. A separate randomized controlled trial found that fennel tea produced the shortest time to first defecation compared to control groups, with results appearing in as little as 21 hours. Together, the fat addresses the friction problem, and the fennel addresses the cramping and spasming that make constipation painful and uncomfortable. To prepare this drink, steep 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds in 8 ounces of hot water for 5 minutes. Remove the seeds. Then stir in either a half teaspoon of ghee or a full teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil while the tea is still warm. Sip it slowly. Morning or early evening. Either works. It is mild enough to drink every single day. When choosing your olive oil, look specifically for one labeled extra virgin and stored in a dark glass bottle. Light degrades the quality of the oil over time. And quality matters here because the active compounds responsible for the lubrication and anti-inflammatory effects are far more concentrated in high-quality extra virgin oil. Habit number 2. Fiber, but used the right way. Most people who have struggled with constipation have already tried adding fiber. Bran cereal, fiber supplements, more vegetables. And for many of them, it helped a little, or it made things noticeably worse. If that has been your experience, it does not mean fiber does not work. It means fiber was working without the other necessary conditions being in place. Here is how fiber actually functions inside your body. It adds bulk that physically presses against nerve signals embedded in your intestinal wall. When those signals activate, they trigger the wave-like muscle contractions that push content forward. But bulk without moisture becomes a dense, compacted mass. Harder to move, not easier. And bulk without surface lubrication meets friction and resistance at every turn. Fiber is the trigger. It needs warm water from habit 5, internal moisture from habit 4, and surface lubrication from habit 3 to do its job properly. This is why the order and the combination matter so much. A meta-analysis published in the World Journal of Gastroenterology in 2012, which reviewed multiple randomized controlled trials, confirmed that dietary fiber significantly increases stool frequency in constipated patients, but noted that fiber alone does not reliably improve stool consistency or painful defecation without supporting conditions. That finding supports exactly what you are learning here. The best sources of fiber for this specific purpose are oats, cooked and then cooled, which hold onto water better than most other foods, keeping stool soft as it moves through. Cooked legumes, which are far gentler on an aging gut than raw bran. And cooked vegetables, particularly carrots, zucchini, and green beans, which deliver fiber without the abrasiveness that raw vegetables can cause in sensitive intestines. If you want to add a fiber supplement, look for one listing psyllium husk as the primary ingredient, with no added sugar or artificial sweeteners. Take it with a full glass of warm water, never cold, and only use it on days when your food-based fiber intake is lower than usual. The goal is to train your gut through real food, not to build a daily dependency on supplementation. One fruit worth adding in the afternoon or evening deserves special attention: figs. 2 to 3 fresh or dried figs contain both soluble and insoluble fiber, working in synergy. One type adds bulk, the other holds water and softens stool as it travels. Beyond fiber, figs also contain natural compounds including sorbitol and digestive enzymes that help stimulate intestinal movement on their own, even before the fiber takes full effect. A randomized study found that people who consumed approximately 4 dried figs twice daily experienced a significant reduction in constipation symptoms, bloating, and abdominal discomfort compared to a control group. If using dried figs, soak them in room temperature water for a few hours before eating. Then eat both the figs and the soaking water. That liquid is rich in the same compounds and should not be discarded. Habit number 1. An early dinner and a short walk afterward. Your gut has its own internal clock. It governs when your intestines are most active and when they naturally slow down and prepare for rest. That clock is set by light, movement, and most critically, the timing of your meals. When you eat late, you are asking your digestive system to work during the exact hours it is biologically programmed to ease off. The muscles slow down. Food moves through more gradually. Stool sits longer in the colon, loses more water, and becomes significantly harder to pass by morning. Or research published in Frontiers in Nutrition in 2025 introduced the concept of gut jet lag, a state of desynchronization between your body's biological clock and your gut microbiota rhythm. The study found that late-night eating sends chaotic timing signals to your intestinal bacteria, suppresses the high-amplitude contractions your gut naturally produces in the morning, and weakens the intestinal barrier, all of which directly contribute to chronic constipation. A separate review published in Chronobiology International in 2020 further confirmed that disrupted circadian rhythms in the bowel are directly linked to constipation and other digestive disorders. The fix is straightforward. Eat your last meal before 7 in the evening, while your body's clock still actively supports digestion. By the time you sleep, your gut has finished its primary work and is entering its natural overnight recovery phase, not still struggling to process a late dinner. The walk adds a direct and well-documented physical benefit. Movement activates your gut's enteric nervous system, sometimes called the second brain, which sends signals to the muscles lining your intestines and gets them contracting again. A clinical trial published in PMC in 2021 compared 10 to 15 minutes of post-meal walking against prokinetic medications, drugs specifically prescribed to speed up gut movement, in 94 participants. Both interventions produced significant improvements in bloating, abdominal discomfort, and gas transit. Walking matched the performance of prescription medication with no side effects. You do not need to walk fast. You do not need a destination. On around the block, down a hallway, through your living room, the movement is what counts. Together, an early dinner and a short walk create the precise timing and muscle activation that make every other habit on this list more effective. Without this step, the right foods eaten at the wrong time work directly against your body's own biological schedule. And even the best morning routine cannot fully compensate for what happens the night before. Let's bring this all together. Warm water in the morning activates your stomach's natural signal to get things moving. Prunes rehydrate the stool from the inside, in a way that fiber simply cannot replicate. Fennel tea with a healthy fat makes the path slippery, so stool moves without dragging. Fiber, used correctly and combined with moisture, gives your intestinal walls the physical trigger they need to contract. And a short evening walk with an early dinner wakes up your gut's own nervous system and keeps it working with your body's natural clock, not against it. None of these are complicated. None of them require anything you cannot find at a regular grocery store. But the reason they work together is that they address the actual problem, not just one piece of it. Small, consistent changes done in the right combination make a difference that no single remedy can deliver on its own. You already have everything you need to restore it. The only thing left is to start. Stay connected to this channel. We regularly share videos on digestion, gut health, and simple daily habits that help your body work the way it's supposed to, naturally, without complicated routines or expensive products. There is always something new worth knowing, and it is always made with you in mind. Thanks for being here and taking the time to learn how to take better care of yourself. And if you want to keep going, we've got more content lined up to help you look and feel your best. Click on one of the videos on screen, and we'll see you there.